Alright, I promised another game, and here we go. This time we actually are playing against Keranos. There it is right there. And, I don't know, this thing is certainly not bad. It's probably the maybe third best blue-red commander, certainly behind In the Pain Artist. I guess it's decent in multiplayer, the fact that you can't interact with it. I'm cutting it off, actually. The fact that you can't really interact with it in multiplayer makes it a lot stronger, and the opportunity to get devotion is much higher. Plus, the ability is almost always going to be useful on either side. But in 1v1, not so strong. And this draw is borderline keepable, but it does have Mana Drain and Fabricate and 2-land and the Monolith. So, worst case scenario, I can play Monolith on turn 2 and fabricate it into something like a Soul Ring to get the Monolith untapped and probably recover, but it's really needs a second blue mana. And I am going second, so I should increase it. Alright, Saltwater Cliffs. That's another double blue mana spell. Yeah, that's why I play so many islands in this deck. It's just such a greedy for blue mana version of Azami. I mean, I assume they're all like that, but you just gotta hit blue. Ugh. Alright, so there's definitely a temptation here to just hold on to Condescend to hopefully have him play something on turn 3, and I can counter it and get the Scry 2 to make sure I hit another island. But then again, I'm playing against blue, and I kind of want to just start putting stuff into play. I feel like getting a counter spell potentially out of his hand is more important than potentially condescending his turn 3 play, because there's no guarantee he's going to play anything that costs 3 mana anyway. This is a case I think where you just need to be a little bit more proactive. If I wait here and he doesn't play something that I have to condescend, which is a high probability, then and I don't draw a land on the next turn, I look like a fool, because then I have to tap out to avoid discarding, and I don't have the ability to condescend on the following turn. So I'm just gonna do it now. Sure enough, counterspell, which I absolutely love. Like, might as well counterspell the thing that they're casting off the Monolith. It's not entirely wrong to counterspell Grim Monolith, but I think most of the time it is. It's so hard to untap it, like to find a window to untap this thing, and people generally want to invest in using the Monolith early. You just counterspell the thing that they play, especially when I have less blue mana as well. Brainstorm. Alright, well, I wouldn't have been able to condescend that. Sure enough, nothing. Oh god, alright. Well, I'm very glad that I cast the Monolith. That was clearly extremely important, because this turn I would have had to cast the Grim Monolith, and I would have been countered that turn. And he'd be 1 turn ahead of me, playing Fabricate. And when he plays Fabricate, I'm actually thinking, okay, well, he probably gets Soul Ring here. That would be my expectation. So obviously, if he taps out to play the Soul Ring, then I can just condescend it, and that works out perfectly, because I stop the spell he gets, and I also get to Scry. But he gets Cursed Totem. I'll reveal it over there. There it is right there. Very powerful anti-Azami card. In fact, anti my whole deck, as I have many wizards that do stuff, including my general. This card is a massive hoser. Cannot be allowed to resolve, ever. Alright, I really need to draw an island, or this game's going to end really quick. Thank God. Alright, island. Now, I fully intend, or expect for him to just cast the Cursed Totem, but I'm secretly hoping that he gets greedy and he plays Keranos. Keranos. God, alright. So, lots of choices here. Ordinarily, I would think I would just condescend this, because I want to save the mana drain to do something like put out Azami. But at the same time, the 5 mana works out perfectly with Fabricate, because there's 1 key target in my deck that costs 5. So I'm going to drain this. It's not ideal, but the way it works out, it still works in my favor. Glenalendra. Wow, that changes things a lot. So I do have quite a bit of temptation to just play Glenalendra Archmage. The main thing I'm concerned about is this stupid thing, right? So what's the best solution to deal with Cursed Totem? I could just play Glenalendra off of the island and the 4 mana, which would leave me with a blue out. But if he has a way, if he has something else I need to counter with Glenalendra Archmage, something really potentially deadly. Obviously, few things are as deadly as this, but I could counter it with the single blue mana, but then the Cursed Totem, because it only costs 2, would come into play and shut off Glenalendra Archmage. at the same time, obviously I can't play the general. So as much as I want to play Glenelender Archmage to stop Curse Totem, because obviously if I get something else, I can't counterspell, or I can counterspell Curse Totem, but at the same time he can counter back because it's so cheap to cast, and he can't counterspell the Glenelender effect. I decide that I need to gamble on further mana development, because even if he does get the totem to stick, I have at least a chance of competing if I have equal or more mana in play. So the way to do that is to go get the Lotus, which conveniently gives me the ability to dissipate if I need to, condescend as well, and yeah, there's no temptation to play the Patron Wizard, of course, because that doesn't stop the totem. Alright, what are we going to see here? Aftershock on the Lotus. Weird, I would not have expected that. Well, obviously I have to counterspell that, and I'm going to use Dissipate. That means Totem comes down, which is fine, because I got the Lotus in play. Yeah, I don't think that there was any realistic way to stop Curse Totem from coming into play that turn. There was enough things he could have done. He could have just Aftershocked my island and then played Curse Totem if I had played the Glenelender instead. So this is clearly the right play. Close that up. Alright, Totem is out. Well, the deck delivers. Cryptic Command. Perfect. Alright, so we're just going to chill here. Intention is to counterspell whatever he does and then Cryptic Command the Curse Totem, or do them both at the same time if it's a cheap spell. Oh, please cast Keranos. Please do it. Please do it. Oh, he did it. How beautiful. I think about Cryptic Commanding and I realize, you know what, it's much better to just do this. Since he's totally tapped out. Condescend. Top of my deck is Chrome Mox and Ancient Tomb. Chrome Mox is tempting. I probably don't need the Sower, so that's an extra source of blue, and I'm going to draw 2 cards between now and the draw step, but I decided that I'd rather hang on to it. I don't know what's in the rest of his deck, and I've got enough blue mana now that I probably don't need the Chrome Mox. I'm just going to get the Tomb. Especially because there might just be an island on top of my deck, so I bounce away the Deadly Curse Totem. Coalition Relic. Beautiful card to draw right now. So we can play that. And with 2 blue untapped, deploy the Mage. Look at this recovery. Wow. So he thinks for a long time. Plays Unstable Obelisk. Not a card you see very often. 7 mana, sacrifice Unstable Obelisk. Well, that's not really too deadly, honestly. It would kill my Lotus potentially, but I've got enough blue, I think, that I'd be fine. Plus, I'm planning on just wrecking him with this Sword of Feast and Famine. I'm going to be playing other threats anyway that are probably more dangerous to him than the Lotus anyway. So we're going to let that go. Wellspring, sure, whatever. Oh my god. Jace. There was something to be said for using the Glenelender to counterspell the Obelisk, because I have a Riptide Laboratory and I can recycle Glenelendra. But I don't really want to be doing that, and I'm honestly not that scared about it. So Jace. First things first, we're going to play the Mighty Sword. Equip the Glenelendra. And since I still have a blue mana untapped and I'm not too worried about what he'd do with just 3 mana, I'm going to actually tap my island and the Lotus to play Jace as well, since I'm going to be untapping everything. And in response to that, scoops it up, which is a little premature, but I think the writing's already on the wall here. I don't really think he's going to be able to beat me from this position, even with the 7 mana Vindicate. But I thought that was another pretty cool game. Dealt with a really, really creepy mana issue in the early going, and was able to recover and pull it out pretty handily. Hope you like that one. More to come.